Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope you guys are having a good morning this morning. Peepaw is still iced in. We've got about, I think at this point, right at almost a half an inch of sleet and ice. And anyway, the mighty Miss Riv and I are locked in place, nowhere to go. But at least we got lots of coffee, and got the essentials right. We got oatmeal, and I got a big bag of pinto beans and a big sack of cornmeal. So we'll be just fine. But they're calling for more of this crap today. Road crews, the ice is so heavy on the road stuff, right? that I talked to my brother who works for the county road crew, and he called and we was talking last night and stuff. And of course, those guys are killing themselves. They're out working extremely long hours, and they're treating the roads. They're trying to blade the roads. They're trying to do all this stuff to get this ice stuff off. And I probably really shouldn't, and I will. I'll take some pictures today when it gets daylight, and I'll take some pictures, and I'll have them for tomorrow morning, right? To show you guys just what it's like around here. It's ice is a whole different beast to like snow, right? We can deal with snow. Snow's not that bad of a deal. They can blade that stuff off. You can go on. It's no big deal. Ice, though, no. Ice is another creature. It builds up on the power lines. It builds up on the trees. Causes trees to come crashing down through people's homes. It causes power lines to snap. It's a whole other beast, and we don't likes it. We wants it away. But enough of that. Enough. Let's get into. We got a jam-packed show. Otherwise, we would have continued listening to the rest of about the 3.5 minutes still left in that song. It's a great, great cover song. Guns N' Roses did that, covered that song, made it actually for a really good movie called Interview with a Vampire, and not the series that AMC did, but the original movie that was made starring Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt. It was a movie. I think it was made. Oh God, when did that movie come out? In the late 80s, early 90s, I think, when that movie came out. If you've never seen the original movie, like I said, you really ought to watch it. It is a really good. It is really good. It's an actually, and it is an actually a very good adaptation of the books by Anne Rice, which I've read them all. Um, and it's really good. The subsequent movies that they made, The Queen of the Dam, was absolute ass. Don't waste your time. It is nothing like the books. I do highly recommend if you do like that type of where you want about vampires. I'm not talking about the little sparkly ones like Edward, but I'm talking about actual vampires. And Rice's books are excellent, excellent canon for that. So, anyway, enough of that. There's not even one on the docket. I don't know why I talked about it, but anyway, let's just get into it. So, the lovely Paw Prince helping me out sends this because she likes to torture me. Says there's a trick to driving on ice, and apparently no one knows it. Exactly. The trick to driving on ice, y'all, stay your butts home. That's the trick. There is no trick. You stay home. You don't even drive on it. That's it. End of discussion. Go on. This next thing that I'm fixing to talk about, guys, is has got me sad. And I'm not being. This is not a shtick. This is not. But yesterday, the lovely Amber Lily announced that the Hen House podcast is going to be ending because of real life stuff has occurred. I don't know what it is. It doesn't. That's not important. What is important is that they're going to they're not going to be able to continue the show. Maybe I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic. Maybe sometime her and Bonnie Buttons and stuff can kind of get things in their lives can kind of calm down a little bit and then come back to making the show. Because I honestly and truthfully, I loved their show. I love their spirit. I love their energy. I just loved listening to them talk in their southern accents, and um, it just they were both just so, I don't know, just bubbly and stuff, and and of course, even though there were some horrible accusations that was being tossed at yours truly here, coming from that camp, um, it doesn't. I can still appreciate the the art that they were creating over there, the content that they were creating, and uh, you know, I hope, honestly and truthfully, I say this with all sincerity, I do hope that those two lovely young ladies stay around and continue to interact with us, that they continue to, um, do things with us. And because I really did like them and I love their energy. And, and Amber said, because, and I've said, this is sad news. I really liked you guys. And, Amber says, I'm sorry to let you down, people. And listen, she did not let me down. Neither her or Bonnie, neither one. They didn't let me down. It just, I'll just like I was just missing hearing them their talk and stuff and their shows. But um, anyway, um, I do wish those two ladies the uttermost best things, and like I said, I still will love interacting and hanging out with them because I do think they were really good people. I really do. Yeah, I saw that, Franklin. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Um, I think he made the analogy or equation that he would be basically like what was his name from whatever it was that shoot, I can't remember the guy. That big one that broke this summer. Yeah. Um, yeah. I don't know if he would or not. I think just because a guy watches porn, I don't think that makes them you know, somebody that would necessarily attack a lady or whatever. I don't think those two things equate. Yeah, I know it was deep fake stuff, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later on in the stream. So I'll deal more on that. Um, we'll cover more of that a little bit, but in the meantime, like I said, I do wish Ember and Bunny all the best in the world, and look forward to seeing them and interacting with them. So this came across my feed yesterday, and this is coming from a toxic Piplup. Now, I don't think I have to go into all the stuff. There was the now recording they was on this channel originally. Now they moved off to their own, yada yada yada. Toxic wanted to go make some of his own type of content, yada yada yada. So this come out, and it's just a 3-second little clip. And guys, listen to this.
Now recording is a bunch of women crying about their problems. Now
the voice sounds extremely familiar to me, but there's just 3 seconds of it, and I can't quite piece. I mean, it's right there on the tip of my tongue. So Squatching in the chat is saying banana. It's banana. Okay. Squatching, I think you may be right there. Because let's listen to this again. Let's listen to this again.
Now recording is a bunch of women crying about their problems.
Wookie Z, probably one of my sons. It may be. It's Tommy C. It's got to be Nanner. Guys, here's the thing. He says here in this first tweet he put out that February the 1st, 2023, and then he follows that up with another tweet, says 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, February 1st, 2023, Toxic Piplup YouTube channel, be there. So whatever it is, at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard tonight, we will be able to find out exactly what it is. Banana Peepaw son confirmed. You know what? I seem to be catching a lot of strays here lately when it comes to parental responsibilities. And you guys know, right, that this whole peepaw to the internet, uh, I may have to rethink this because I don't know if I just don't know if I can be the peepaw to the entire internet. I may have to rethink this thing. So anyway, Brion says, I feel exhausted. Arguing with Jalen has been getting to me, but thank God I'm watching River. Brion, won't you listen to me here, okay? Right now, arguing with Jalen is akin to going and having a shouting match with a brick wall. All you're going to wind up doing is probably having a headache and a sore throat. And you're not going to change one iota of that brick wall. Quit wasting your time. And until Jalen, until she is able to get some things in her life squared away, and she actually seeks some bona fide help and gets offline and quits going into these discords and yelling and screaming with people, and you know, it's not. There's nothing about her life that is going to change. She is a broken record, guys. I don't know if you've ever heard that expression before, because I get most of you guys probably have never had an old turntable with vinyl records. But what happened is you would have a vinyl record, right? And it would get what's called a scratch in it, and the vinyl would get damaged. And so what would happen is you'd play your favorite song you put on, you'd be, tooling around the house, doing whatever you need to do. And all of a sudden it would hit that where that scratch is at, and it would go, and it'd jump back, a few seconds, in the song, and it'd go back up to that scratch again. And it just kept over and over and over, and it'd keep playing the same 2 or 3 seconds, whatever, over and over again, right? Because the scratch would not let the needle continue on the track on the vinyl records. And that's Jalen. She's a broken record right now. She has to go and get fixed. Tippy Savage, what's the matter, Riverter? You don't want to be the internet big DOS daddy? I kind of do. I kind of want to give advice, but I just, all these, I don't know. I'm catching a lot of strays when it comes to all these. I just didn't know maybe that everybody was so broken. I don't know. And I'm all for trying to help people and stuff, but dadgummit, when they keep just repeating it, it's like, that's the definition of insanity, right? Just keep repeating, doing the same things, expecting change. All right. So this next one, Kristin Ark was covering this whole Atarok. I think that's how you say the cat's name. Nonsense where, he was watching the deep fake porns. Don't know if he actually was creating the deep fake, whatever, it doesn't matter, but he was watching these deep fakes of his friends and stuff, whatever. And so Kristin Ark was doing covering a little stream, whatever. And he opened up to call-ins, and this occurred.
You're live, Red. How can I help you today?
Hello?
Hello?
On the deepfake situation, I feel like that at the end of the day, it's just porn.
Okay, yeah. Wait, how old are you that you're talking about pornography?
I'm 13, dude.
Okay, goodbye. What the fuck?
Exactly, Chris. Dude, the first things, okay. And this is something I picked up from the Uncle Tommy C. The first thing when you hear someone talk and they sound a little bit young, you immediately stop, say, hold it. How old are you? Because the last thing you want to be doing is in a situation like this, where you've got some 13-year-old kid talking to you about porn. Jiminy Pete. Oh, Lord. Here we go. Squatching. Is it really a stray if it comes from a place of love? Probably not. Probably not. It's probably not a stray, baby, but I don't know. Well, as my wife is constantly telling me, she says all the time, she tells me, a lesser man couldn't handle it, right? A lesser man couldn't handle it. So anyway, maybe hopefully Chris learned a valuable lesson there. I don't know, talking to a 13-year-old, goodness gracious. So the dude in question, the star of the hour, right? Atarok. He he had his little crying jag with his wife behind him, and they made this I don't know, apology or whatever over on his Twitch channel, right? Well, now he's put out a TwitLonger. So let's see what I'm coming in cold on this. I didn't even know this happened or whatever, and this was sent to me. So let's just take a look at this, see what this says here. Apology. Hey, this statement is long overdue. My actions have taken me from someone I was proud of, trying to make a positive impact in my community, to a deep fake porn guy. The scar of that is felt deeply on my heart. First and foremost, I want to specifically apologize to Maya and Pokimane. You were both in the screenshot that spread around the internet. Your names were dragged into it, and you were sexualized against your will. You have both succeeded in this industry in spite of all the blanket, unfounded, sexist attempts to hurt or assassinate your character in a male-dominated space. Okay. So far I have no issues except for that last sentence. You both have succeeded in an industry in spite of all the blatant, unfounded, sexist attempts to hurt or assassinate your character in a male-dominated space. Blatant, unfounded, sexist attempts to hurt or assassinate your character in a male-dominated space. Guys, I know there's a lot of young ladies that are in my chat. And so I understand that I'm probably coming from a certain bias because I'm old and I'm white and I'm grumpy. Ladies, I need your help on this. Is Twitch, YouTube, is it a male dominated space? Because I honestly, I'm not trolling here. I want to sincerely get y'all's opinions on this. Is it, or is that the perception that it is a male dominated space? Because I don't know. Okay, Gracie says it is. Okay. Squatcha says it really depends on the community or space you're talking about. Zali says in certain communities, yes. On YouTube and on Twitch, yes, it is male dominated. It really is. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Because I don't know. I'm sure some of it is algorithms and things like that. But it seems like when I go to Twitch, right? And when you go there, you don't go to a specific channel. They have ones that they're featuring and things like that, right? It just seems like the stuff that is fed to me is more it's more female content or female content creators, right? Which is kind of weird because honestly, if I pulled up my Twitch who I'm what do you call it, following or whatever on Twitch. It's it's I would say it's probably more. Look at the top streamers. Okay, so let's see. Let me go out there because all right. Because listen, listen. I want to I want to become educated because I'm unlike a lot of people. I don't presume to know everything. I really don't know. Top Twitch streamers. We'll just go 2022. Okay, because 2023 is not enough time frame. I don't think so. We'll just say this here. Okay, so Ninja, XQC, Rubus. I don't know who that is. So let me just do this right here. Search who's Rubus. Okay, that's a guy. All right, fair enough. Iron Mouse. I'm going to assume this is probably a guy as well. It's a female American virtual YouTuber. Okay, so there's one girl. Summit 1G I know is guy. Iron Play. Who's Iron? Okay, that's another guy. Syndicate is a guy, and Shroud's guy. Okay, all right. You know what? Yes. Then so it is. It is a male dominated space. It is a male dominated space. So cast, that's fine. All right. So blatant, unfounded, sexist attempts to hurt or assassinate your character. I'm not going to comment on that because I'm going to be real honest with you. The only time that I've seen Pokimane really in any type of drama and stuff is it's been because of things that she has said and done, like when she tried to take down It's a Gundam and his sponsor, Ridge Wallet, things like that. And I honestly know zero about Maya. Okay. So anyway, let's go on with what he says. And now I'm another guy on that long list. I'm sorry I didn't reach out sooner. I'm sorry my actions have led to further exploitation of you and your body. And I'm sorry your experience is not uncommon. The reality is I have it easy compared to the dozens of women who, from my actions, discover they are exploited unconsensually. I'm sorry to all of you for the pain I caused with my actions and its ripple effect. Q described me as a wildfire, and I believe that is correct. My goal now is to concentrate action to fight that wildfire, to do everything I can do to combat the damage. In the short term, though, the efforts of QT and Ryan Morrison's law firm, the website in question, has already been taken down. I have spoken with Morrison, and I'm working to cover the financial cost of the takedown as well as all the legal fees for all the women affected to use his services for removing their unwanted content from the web. Additionally, I'm engaging more law firms to continue to remove this content from areas of the internet such as Reddit. To ensure this issue has my full focus, I'm stepping away from content creation and off brand. Lastly, to anyone who has expressed the sentiment of support that what I did wasn't wrong or that I shouldn't apologize, fuck you. Sincerely, I do not want your support. I do not stand with you. This will be the last time you hear from me for a while. I'd rather you see my actions. I will try my absolute hardest to combat damage I caused. Thank you. I 100%, I'll say this, 100%, it was definitely, I guess that's a pretty good apology. TwitLonger, I don't know who helped him compose that, but it's very well written. I don't know. I'm kind of in a weird place on this a little bit, I guess. I don't necessarily. I know that how do I put this? It doesn't, first of all, it doesn't make it right. And I'm not excusing these people's actions or any of that. To the contrary, I'm not. And if they're actually successful in trying to get some of this stuff scrubbed and removed, good for them, I guess. I'm sure it is quite a lengthy, cost to do that type of stuff. And I guess good on him for stepping up and helping with that cost and helping, do that. But what I will say is this: I believe what they're trying to do will be quintessential to trying to say we're going to stop the tides from occurring in the oceans. I can remember back prior to there being an internet, prior to there being a Photoshop or any AI or anything like that, there has always been a space where you have celebrities, and back when I'm talking about celebrities, I'm talking like Hollywood celebrities type things, right? Where the porn industry has always taken advantage. They would get, body doubles and things like that, people that looked like whatever actor or actress, right? And they would make porn videos and they would make some sort of catchy little title or whatever that would reflect or be a play on the movie or whatever that the person was in, right? That has always been out there and it will always be there, right? And again, like I say, I'm trying to say how to say this. I'm not trying to excuse what any of these what Arctic did or anything like that. I'm not trying to do that. But what I'm saying is that them going through this procedure of trying to stop this and to eradicate it and remove it, I just don't think it's possible. I just don't. The guy, let's see, took the website down. Okay, Hollywood celebrities like people. I'm not a Hollywood celebrity. Um, it's I like to say porn culture. Yeah, yeah, there we go, porn culture. I don't know. I just know that stuff has always been out there. It's always existed. And if they think they can put a dent in it, I guess go ahead. But it's kind of like the Hydra, right? You cut off one head, and three more spring up in its place, right? Yeah, it's just. And here's the thing: I do have sympathy and compassion for these young ladies that I've had this done to them. They're not asking for it, and they're not wanting this to be sexualized in this nature. And I 1,000% get that, and I am sympathetic for it. You know, um, and I wish them all the luck. Um, but it's like this. I'll use myself as an example. When I made the conscious decision to start making content and to show my face and to put, it out there, I knew that I was giving up some privacy, right? Now I still have some privacy, but I think eventually even that will be gone. I have no doubt in my mind that eventually one of these days, everything about me will probably, you know, will come to light as far as what my real name is. The whole deal. I think that is inevitable. I think it's just, again, it's like the tides, right? You can't hold it back, right? And here's the thing: there's not one iota, there's not one thing out there that I am worried about coming to light. There's no big, juicy, slanderous, salacious skeletons that are out there that is going to say, "Ooh," um, because quite honestly, I'm pretty boring. I'm pretty boring. Um, I am not, so, but that stuff will come out. And that is something that you have to understand, right? And there's no doubt in my mind that there are people out there that are twisted, enough that they'll take my, likeness or whatever, and they'll do things with it, right? They'll put it on the head of somebody else, or I don't know, put it on to the body of a Pokemon and put it out there, right, Max? Things like that, right? So um, why anybody would ever want to do a deep fake porn of someone like me, I have no idea why they would want to do it, but it would shock or surprise me if they did. The only thing I would ask is that they give me a better looking body than what I have. That's all I ask. Put me on a good hard body 10 guy, with a big giant schlong. That's all I'm asking. Guys, if you're gonna do it, do people all right. That's all I'm gonna ask, right? Um, but I think enough of that or whatever. I think we're going to talk about everybody's favorite podcaster. I was not, honestly, truly, I was not even going to cover this. I wasn't going to go over this. I wasn't going to do anything until the second little video we're going to watch. Okay. Because quite honestly, if truth is to be told, I'm really kind of over and I'm done with Ethan Klein. Okay. I'm done with him. I really, truly, I am. But let's watch this video, and then I'll show you why we're talking about him this morning.
Small dog. I thought he was going to live forever, like they say.
Oh no, this is not the video. This is not where. Oh, for crying out loud! Hang on, guys. I got the wrong stinking. Okay, was this it? I think this is the one here. No, this is not the one. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here's the one. Okay, guys. I got it. I apologize. Had the wrong clip pulled up. There was so much Ethan crap on this one. All right. So here, let's try this again. All right, let's try this again. Here we go.
Why? Why? What is going on with you?
I know, sorry, don't mind me.
If you are able to look at women who are not selling themselves or benefiting off of being seen sexually,
You're a monster, dude.
You guys are crazy.
Why did you do that?
Zach, what the fuck, bro?
All right. Everybody's seen this little clip, right? Right? You guys seen this, right? So, Ethan, they do this little bit. QT Cinderella, which I'll be honest with you, didn't even know who she was. Evidently, she's one of the young ladies who had one of the deep fakes made about her. Okay, right? And so she's upset about it, and she's responding to it and what have you. And so Ethan and the gang, Dan was not happy. I'm not for sure exactly who this young lady here is, because again, I don't watch and consume H3H3 content. As the old saying goes, picture's worth 1,000 words. She is staring daggers. She is not a happy little camper. Let's see here. who else was it? Yeah. This is, I can't remember what her name is, but this is the young lady that likes to dox people, right? So she's laughing. She's hoo ha ha ha. It's funny. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Dan is the only one. Exactly, Zolly. Dan's the only one that has any kind of sense, right? Because where was Dan's face? Let's bring Dan's face up here for a second. Let's look at this. Right here. Okay. Dan's face is realization of what just happened and the ripple effect of what's going to occur, right? This is going to be another moment where the internet is going to come after them. This is going to be another cancellation. They're probably going to, some people are going to quit watching for a while. They're going to drop their memberships. All that is done, right? So this is yet another one of those deals. Okay. Fine. We've seen this. This is nothing new. This is a wash, rinse, and repeat cycle for H3H3, right? This is just another day that ends in Y on the H3H3 podcast, right? Nothing to see here, folks. But this here is coming from the Ethan Klein channel, not the podcast channel. This happened last night. Okay. This happened 13 hours ago. And he is making a apology video for what happened during that segment of the podcast and what happened with QT Cinderella. Okay. So he rambles on for 4 minutes and 50 seconds in an 8-minute video where he is talking about this and he's apologizing. But at the halfway mark, this is where the choo-choo train leaves the tracks, in my opinion. So let's listen to what Mr. Klein says.
A lot of people, my wife included, was saying, is this a Tourette's thing? I have Tourette's syndrome. And I don't think it is, right? Like, that feels like a cop-out. But I'm trying to understand, why am I like this? And like, it's just kind of nuts how I keep doing these things. And I keep doing these horrible things, right? Saying these horrible things. I did not know this, but one of the symptoms of Tourette's, here, I'll show you this. I was like, fuck, I don't know. I've been thinking about it. And people say, maybe it's your Tourette's. And I say, I've always been like, that's a cop out. There's no way. I'm just crazy. I don't know even how to explain it. But then, so I said, okay, with Tourette's, I've always kind of like buried my head in the sand. I know I have it, but since I was a kid, the more I thought about it, the worse it was. So my strategy of dealing with it was always kind of just to like forget.
Squatching or DMAX, since when does Ethan have Tourette's? Is that real? Yes. Yes, he does have Tourette's. I don't think he by his own statements, I don't know if he's ever actually been clinically diagnosed or medically diagnosed as having it, but there is definitely signs that he has the uncontrollable muscle spasms and things that occur from Tourette's. So yes, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt that he probably does have Tourette's, right? He has the little tics and stuff, right?
Get that I have it, or try not to think about it, try not to have a daily presence in my life, to try to feel like just normal as possible. And for the most part, I do find that strategy worked. But I look up, and one of the top results for symptoms of behavior is compulsive behavior, impulsivity. You know what I mean? Lack of restraint. And these are some of the top things that are being listed. So I think it's a bit of a cop-out. I think I have control over these things.
All right. So he's putting out this narrative here. He's saying that people are trying to give him the pass because of his bad behavior, his saying the things that he says, the things that he does is just his Tourette's. So he's getting a pass. He's given an excuse. All right. I'm not a doctor. I, never attended any type of medical school or anything of that nature. But there are people who are content creators who has, confirmed medically diagnosed Tourette's. And you watch them. The thing about it is I'm sure I'm sure there's different varyings of degrees of severity, right? Like you have someone who's like has really bad Tourette's, and then you'll have people where it's they're really the tics and things are extreme, and then I'm sure you have people who are milder cases of Tourette's, and it's not as which I want to say clearly here, I do believe Ethan does have some symptoms of Tourette's syndrome, where he's constantly moving his hands, or he'll his head bobbles and things of this nature, right? So I'm not trying to be dismissive. What I am going to be very dismissive of is you cannot use Tourette's as an excuse because you set up a bit during a podcast where a young lady was being extremely emotional about this situation with the deep fakes, and you set up a bit to have a song, Chestnuts Roasting Over an Open Fire play, and you and several other of your staff laugh at it, right? You set up this little bit, and the bit flopped and failed, and now your chestnuts are actually being roasted over an open fire. Okay. Now, from my understanding of what I understand, people with Tourette's, they have a bad habit, an uncontrollable habit of curse words or saying other things that are socially unacceptable, right? That is an example of Tourette's. There are content creators who have had open public battles, right, with content creating platforms like Twitch, YouTube, and things like that. Because of their Tourette's, they will blurt out certain words and things and they will repeat them. And because the whole thing is about with the Tourette's is they will get hung on, a person that has it will get hung on a word, and they'll say that word over and over and over again. It could be a curse word, or it could be even sometimes a racially charged word, right? And so that is, but setting up a bit that flops and you're laughing at, I'm sorry, maybe I'm missing the mark here. Maybe I'm out of line here. I don't know. But to me, even floating or even putting this forth because other people have said this to you, right? And I think you're exactly right, Ethan. It's a cop-out. And the fact that you even put this forth and put this out there as a thing for your fans to latch onto to make excuses now for you for this behavior, right? So that when you do something that really upsets this base that you've cultivated, to give them some ammunition to fight back against them, and about these people that are going to come after you because of this behavior. Man, come on. I don't think so. Guys, I don't know. What do you think? Am I off? Am I missing the boat here on this one? Is my compass pointing in the wrong direction here? Because I really feel like maybe I don't know. I'm not off. I'm on target. Okay. Because again, like I said, guys, I do not presume to know everything. I don't presume to come out.
I can still do it, and I'll whip it out when I need to.
Oh, Tommy's whipping it out, guys. Holy crap. Dr. Bendover. Dr. Bendover. Oh, Dip $5 said, in my medical opinion, Ethan Klein is one outrage away from showing his co-host and entourage, showering his co-host and entourage with bullets. And no, it's not because of his Tourettes when they're playing Minecraft, right? So, guys, listen, here's the deal. I was raised a certain way. And my mother and father were a good Southern man and woman, right? And one of the things that they instilled in me, right? Like they would come to me when I was a little boy and they say, all right, Rivy, I want this chore done. I want this chore taken care of. I want this done before we get home from work today. And I'd say, yeah, mom, yeah, dad, whatever. As most kids are, very dismissive about things. And when mom and dad would come home, if I had not gotten the chore, right, the task done, accomplished, as they had requested, right, and if I tried to make excuses, like, oh, I forgot, or, this happened or that happened or whatever, right? They were excuses because I either allowed other things to preoccupy my mind, or B, I just didn't want to do it. And probably more B than it was anything else. Because I didn't want to do it, I allowed other things to preoccupy my mind. And so these chores would not get accomplished. And then there was repercussions for my decisions. And those repercussions usually was at the end of a good old King Hickory. Now, for you that don't know what a King Hickory is, I will tell you. In the South, there is a tradition. And the tradition is that when you screwed up, right, and it came time for discipline, my mom, my dad, my grandparents, whoever it was that was administering this corrective, measures, would send me out to find a switch, right? So I'd have to go and get my own switch. And it had to be a certain parameters. If I came back with a switch that was too small, right, and would not stand up to the task at hand, I would get a good lecturing and sent back to get another one. And a typical good King Hickory was probably about the diameter of my pinky here, right? My little pinky. See, the little pinky is about that diameter, right? And it would be about, I'm going to say a good 3 foot or so long. And at the end, it would be real limber, okay? Because again, this is going to be a limb off of a tree. And typically, they called it a King Hickory is because they preferred a hickory limb, because hickory is a very tough wood. And then I would bring back this switch, and they would use that switch to spank my behind, to get me to align, to remember things, and to put things in the right priority. Now, I know for a lot of people, that's abuse. That's child abuse. Parents should never lay hands on their children. They shouldn't spank their children. And if that is your ideologies and your beliefs towards children, that's fine. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you about it, right? I'm just going to simply say that was not the ideologies and practices that I was raised under. And I think, personally, I turned out quite well. I think I'm very well adjusted, and I think I have a very good head on my shoulders. And I, even at times when I was being administered this corrective actions, I didn't agree with it. And I thought my mom and dad were the worst possible people walking the face of the earth because my ass was tore up and hurting because I didn't do what I was supposed to do. And the heart of that, and the lesson to take away from this is responsibility. It's called responsibility. When you are given a task, right, or you undertake something, right, you have to be responsible for your actions, what you do, what you say, right? So when, as a child, most children are not going to take on responsibilities because they're kids. They don't want to do that, right? They don't want to they just want to be frolic and play and do things like that, right? But part of a parenting responsibility is to put responsibilities on your children, teach your children to complete these and do these responsibilities that you've given them. And if they don't do it, that there are repercussions for it, right? Now, like I said, traditions in what we did here in the South was it inclined with a spanking, right? I'm not talking about beating. I'm not talking about taking your fist and punching your kids and leaving them black and blue and bloody with broken bones and that shit. Okay. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about corrective procedures where you spank their butts, you get their attention, and you correct the bad behavior. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. And I received a lot of corrective procedures when I was a child because I was a very hard-headed child and I was a very willful child and I wanted to do things the way I wanted to do it. Period. Right? That's the way I was. But I am very extremely thankful to my mom and dad. And as I got older, I became more thankful that they raised me to accept responsibilities, because as I got older, I took on responsibilities because that's part of becoming an adult, right? You take on the responsibility of having a rent or mortgage. You take on responsibilities. You get married, right? You're then responsible for the well-being of that person that you have decided to walk through life with, right? And they vice versa are responsible for taking care of you, right? It is a partnership. You're responsible for each other. You work together to make sure that you meet each other's needs as you go through life. And then when you bring children into the world, you take on that responsibility. You take on the responsibility to make sure that you're raising them, that when the time comes and they fly out of your nest, that they're ready to accept the responsibilities that they're going to take on in life, and they don't walk away from them and they don't shirk them. Okay. And so when my children came along, yes, they were disciplined. They were spanked. When they got to a certain age, getting a switch to whip them with was not an option anymore, right? There is a age where that, you don't whip a child anymore, right? You ground them, you take away certain things, right? And I think it was probably around 10 or 12, somewhere in there, that that was done with me. I would get grounded from things, being able to watch television, or probably, I don't know if we had I don't know if we had our Atari by then or not, but things like that, things, the little luxuries that we were afforded, those things would be taken away from me, right? Same thing with my child, right? My kids, if they misbehaved, or if they were doing what they weren't supposed to do, they lost privileges. They weren't allowed, time on the whatever console or whatever, or on the computer, or they weren't allowed to watch television, things of that nature, right? And I don't think that parents that do that are bad parents. They're parents. You're not supposed to be your child's best friend. That comes later, you know. Now that my children are out and on and they're responsible adults and they're doing what responsible adults do, now we're friends. Now we're buddies because now we are equal, right? It's more of a this, right? Right? It's not me above them and then below me. It's equal, right? They're adults. We can have conversations that adults can have, right? Now, it still means you need to be respectful to your parents because they are your parents. There is still that level there that needs to be maintained, that decorum, if you will, right? Just like with my mom, which is the only parent I have alive, I still respect my mom, but there are times that I have to kind of talk to her as a parent because, she's getting older and she still thinks that she's, in her 30s at times and she's 74, and I come in and she's got a stepladder out and I'm like, "What, Mom, why do you have the stepladder out? Why are you climbing a ladder?" And it's things like, "Well, I was dusting the top of my cabinets." The top of her cabinets, you guys, are probably 8 to 10 feet in the air. There's nobody in my family that can see the top of these cabinets. We are not Wilt Chamberlains, okay? I'm like 6'2". I'm not seeing the top of these cabinets. Nobody is seeing the top of these cabinets. I'm like, "Mother, why are you climbing a stepladder to dust the top of the cabinets that nobody can see?" I said, "Do you not understand? This is how people your age fall and break things and become immobile because you can't heal up because the body doesn't heal when like, hell, my body don't heal like it did when I was in my 20s. It's sure not going to heal when you're in your 70s, Stop it. I don't want you to become immobile and lose, the freedom of mobility and then we have to make other arrangements and stuff, right? And you have to move in with me and stuff, which she doesn't want to do, right? She wants her freedom. So there are times when that dynamic changes to where, and then what happened with you guys too, right? If you are blessed enough to still have your parents, there will come a time when your parents are still going to try to act like they're 20 or 30 years old and you're going to step in and say, "No, Mom, Dad, you can't do this." And there's, "Well, why?" "Because you're not 30 years old anymore. Okay. This is, if you get hurt, this is a life-changing event. This is something that's going to lessen your ability to have, an enjoyable life." Yeah, I am 54 years old. I am 54 years young. I don't like to think of being old. Other than the sense that I'm a lot closer to retirement. And that's what I'm working for now, is retirement. So when I get retired here in about roughly a little over 5.5 years, we will get to have very long sessions with coffee of a peepaw of a morning because peepaw will not have to go to work. Peepaw can sit and we can drink coffee and we can talk and we can go over things and laugh and have a good time. And my job will be just... Yeah, I taught Jesus algebra. Some days I feel like I did. I feel like I'm old enough that I was back then, 100%. Drew says, "My dad is 82. I remember being 12. My dad's 70 at the time. Fell ice skating and was at that moment I realized my dad couldn't do normal things at that age." Yeah, exactly, Drew. 100%. I lost my dad 12. That was 13 years ago, I guess now. Yeah. He was 72 at the time. He died to lung cancer. And I just know that in the later years of his life, because of he had prostate cancer, and he got that squared away and got that kind of taken care of, and then he developed lung cancer, and then there was no coming back from that one. And but I know that when he like when he retired and stuff, he just kind of started shutting down, and he would occasionally go and do, like, he'd go fishing and things like that, but he became very sediment and just quit doing more and more things. And the one thing that I do not want happening in my life is for me to become sedimentary. And so that's why when I retire, I have plans. I'm going to do my shows with you guys. I'm going to travel. I'm going to do things. I'm going to have it so as when I'm traveling and I'm doing things with my wife, I'm going to set up. I'm going to have a mobile setup to where no matter where I go, I'm going to be able to do my shows with you guys every morning, right? I'm going to have that. I'm going to have that, because I don't. I like this. I'm not going to give this up. And but yeah, it's just, I don't know. I'm rambling, so I'm rambling. Enough ramblings for this morning. It is okay. Yeah, it's quitting time. Let's see. Let's go out here and let's see what is going on with other people that we can go and we can show some love to today. All right. Okay, so Nerdy John is live. So you guys can go and check out Nerdy John. Matter of fact, let's see here. How can I do this? Okay, and let me go this here. Copy this. So let me put this right here in the old. There you go. So guys, when we end the stream, I can't raid him because I don't have that functionality yet. We can go on. You guys go over there and check him out. I know that tonight, Dave is going to be doing Willie Mac Wednesdays. He was on Twitch last night, but Dave and I did get to do some maintenance yesterday afternoon, just show behind the scene type stuff. We got some things set up. We got some new changes. So we're excited to show some stuff there. So that's we're really getting excited about some of the stuff, right? But anyway, so Dave, I think we'll go about 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. Willie Mac Wednesdays, I think, around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. So keep an eye on Dave's Twitter, my Twitter for those announcements. After Nerdy John's stream, 100% go check out. Let me double check what I'm fixing to tell you here, because I do not want to mistell. Yeah. Oh no, was it? Okay. What happened? I thought Zali was doing her stream last night with episode 2 of the Troublemakers with Ruin Leon. Zali, is you still here? What? Because I was going to look forward to watching that this morning, but I don't see it out there. Videos, lives, not there. Memberships, no. Or is that tonight you're doing that? Maybe that's tonight. I don't know. Anyway, or maybe it's anyway. Always check out Xylee. I guess we'll have to watch to see what's going to be happening on Toxic Piplup's channel. That's at 6 p.m. this evening. Like I said, I'm not for sure what that is all about. Oh, it's Sunday. Well, I know, but I know that she normally does her thing with Run Leon on Sundays, but they weren't able to do this last week because of I think Zadie was not feeling well, and so they were going to do a makeup one. I thought it was last night, but maybe I am misremembering, and probably more likely I am. But anyway, listen, guys, go check out Nerdy John. I gotta get out of here, get to work. Stay safe if you're in part of the country now that I know they're supposed to be like this whole Arctic thing or whatever. She wasn't doing Troublemakers. Maybe it got maybe it canceled it. It doesn't matter. Still check out Zadie. She's good. I like Zadie. Dave tonight, like I said, I think it's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. We'll have Willie Mac Wednesday. That's always a hoot and holler. But until anyway, like I said, check out Nerdy John. I sent the link. I put the link there in chat. I will see you guys tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll see what kind of mischievous nonsense happens while Peepaw sleeps. Until then, you guys keep your powder dry, and I'll see you in the funny papers.
You don't know what I've become. Can't you see it in my face?